Hurricane Helene is now the second deadliest hurricane to strike the U.S. in 50 years. More than 200 people killed. Hundreds are still missing. 40 trillion gallons of water was dumped on the region. That's enough to fill the Dallas Cowboys Stadium 51,000 times. I don't want to give you too many numbers, but we wanted to just let you fathom how much water was seen in this area that just couldn't bear it. And now customers are still without power in many areas. Roads remain closed, which means it's nearly impossible for some of the emergency and disaster relief crews to get to residents. We've been hearing about deliveries being made by helicopter, even by mules. Some people are hiking hours on foot to get to their loved ones. President Biden, Vice President Harris, they both took time to survey the damage. We're showing you those images in North Carolina. Former President Trump did as well, actually. But they also visited Georgia, another hard-hit state. There have been 6 states across the Southeast impacted by the storm. And the current administration says the rebuild will cost, I think was the number $100 billion? It was something outrageous, but it could be years before this area gets back to normal, multiple years. We want to speak now to volunteer for Hurricane Helene Airlift Relief, John Ferguson. He's in Statesville, North Carolina. We're so grateful you're there, especially with all of the work that you all are doing. You're also director of the regional airport there. Can you just give us a sense of what your days are like since last week?
Well, this started out as a small group of about a couple of dozen pilots that wanted to take a few truckloads of supplies to Western North Carolina because roads were wiped out and they could fly into small airports. That was last Friday. By Sunday, we had over 100 volunteers. We had hundreds of cars lined up, dropping off supplies. It's just been amazing, and it's been this way the whole week.
And so have you come across any snags in being able to get in the air and land safely in some of these areas? I mean, obviously you can't land just anywhere.
Well, the helicopters can usually land in fields, but you're right, the aircraft has to land at the airports. And we've been using small single engine and twin engine airplanes because a lot of the airports around Asheville are small. They're 4,000-foot runways that the bigger planes can't get into. Since this started last Friday up to last night, 628 flights came out of this airport, hauling 326,000 pounds of donated supplies. Now, that is airplanes and trucks.
That's amazing. And I have some more numbers here. It shows 24,680 gallons of fuel pumped to try to lift those aircraft. 495 aircraft were involved, and you've had thousands of takeoffs and landings with those thousands of pounds of supplies. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, how's your family doing right now?
My family is in Anderson, South Carolina. Is amazing enough, the power just came on today.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. You got this big smile on your face. I hope that, you know, even though there are some folks there who have gone through the absolute worst day of their life, that Southern hospitality is alive and well, even in the midst of the aftermath of this storm. Do you have any stories that you'd like to tell us to give us a little optimism? Because so many times we report on these and it just looks like Armageddon.
Well, I can tell you that since this started last Friday with just supposed to have been a couple dozen people, and now we've had hundreds and hundreds of volunteers. These people here was not an organized group that's been established for years. These were all strangers to each other and just came together and worked like clockwork. The hangar that they're using the supplies looks like somebody kicked over an ant bed, but these supplies came out. Now, roads are becoming more and more clear every day, so we're going to be downsizing the aviation side of this and going to trucks, simply because these airplanes can only hold about 400 or 500 pounds, but trucks can hold thousands of pounds. Right. So we're transitioning from aviation to trucking.
John, I don't know if you can confirm or give us a story about this, but I've been hearing about different faith-based groups, churches, that instead of holding Sunday service, they all ask their members to go out on foot and to help in any way they could their neighbors who needed the help. Are you hearing about that?
I am, yes, and that's exactly the mentality of North Carolinians. We like to help ourselves. and we're going to help our neighbors any way we can.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.